Hi there, so today's workout is row-like cycling. We're going to alternate some anaerobic threshold work with some recovery intervals, much like you would if you were cycle training, especially on a turbo trainer. Now it's quite a complicated sounding workout. Now don't worry about it because I'm going to keep you right during the row itself. However, this is what we're going to do. We're going to start off with 3 minutes at 20 strokes a minute and at round about 2k plus 18 pace. Then we're going to do 30 seconds at 30 strokes a minute and 2k pace, followed by 30 seconds at 20 strokes a minute and 2k plus 18 pace. And we're going to do that 3 times. Then we're going to take 3 minutes recovery at 18 strokes a minute and 2k plus 20 pace. And then we're going to get into our main session. Okay, that first one was just about kind of whipping up the legs, getting you ready. So the anaerobic threshold part of it is going to be that we're going to do 15 seconds at 30 strokes a minute and 2k pace, then 15 seconds at 24 strokes a minute and 2k plus 12 pace. And we're going to do that 8 times. We're going to follow that with 4 minutes rest, and we're going to do it 4 times over. And then the last of those rests is going to be 3 minutes long. Now don't worry if you're like, what's he on about with this 2k plus pacing thing? Really, there's just 3 ways to think about it. When I say 2k plus 20-ish, that means you're going slow. When I say 2k pace, that means you're going really fast. And when I say run about 2k plus 12, that means you're somewhere in between, all right? So you should get used to it. Now we're going to get into a 4-minute warm-up first anyway. I know I'm saying we'll get a 3-minute roll into this, but it's important that you get a decent warm-up before you even get to that stage. So let's get our machine set up ready for our warm-up. On the concept 2, that means setting your drag factor first. Head to the front, get that where you want it to be. Next up, set your monitor to eye height so you don't have to look up, you don't have to look down, and finally set the foot straps so you can get to the front of the machine with your shins pointing vertically comfortably. If you set too high, you might not quite get there. Set too low, you might go scooting straight past. I'm talking at 1,000,000 miles an hour again, of course. Now, if you're not on the concept 2, then some of that's not going to apply. You might not be able to get the monitor to eye height. You might have a different resistance setting, in which case you set it so you've got a nice feel from the stroke, but you don't have to heave with your arms. And you might not be able to set your foot stretchers. But I'm just saying concept 2 because most people have either a similar machine or a concept 2, right? Anyway, crikey, that's a long intro. Let's get into this 4-minute warm-up. We're going to do around about 18 strokes a minute. And I just want you to think intensity-wise about just giving enough of a push with your legs so you can connect to your hands. And then we'll worry about increasing intensity. All right, here we go then. In 3, 2, 1, let's go. So what I mean is it's almost like you're just enough power as though you were standing up. Okay, so you just want to push with your feet into the machine and then get the timing right so that your hands connect the handle to whatever makes your machine go at the same time. So you push with your feet, your hands connect, and then what happens is the power comes from your feet, through your body, through your straight arms, into the handle, and that is what makes the machine go. So at the front of the stroke, you are not pulling, you're bracing, you're hanging off the handle as your legs put the power into the machine. So that's the first real important thing to learn if you haven't ever thought about technique, is that your power is generated from the legs and your arms only come in to a finish for the stroke to add in power. Okay, so just increase that push from the legs for 30 seconds or so. Should hear your machine change up in pitch as you push in a little bit more power. Making sure your arms are nice and straight as you push with your legs. Right, 2 more strokes, then we're going to put 1 foot on the ground. So here we go. Continue rowing with 1 foot on the ground and 1 foot strapped in. And this should help you think about that push with your leg. because you're only thinking about one of them. And it will also help with your straight arms and the forward tilt into the front of the machine. One more here and swap legs, because that's the other part when it comes to your upper body and technique, is that as you come into the front, you want to be tilted into a forward lean. And I say tilt rather than bend, because I don't want you just to slump. And it's easier to do this with only one leg strapped in. One more. Let's put both feet back in, legs straight, and roll with your back and arms. And this is where you think about that tilt. So you hinge forwards, tilting forwards, and you swing over your hips into that backward lean. And that's all you're doing, is tilting like a hinge. Backwards, forwards, backwards, forwards, backwards. And then you finish with the arm pull. Okay, let's roll to the front of the machine with that forward tilt, arms straight, and just push out with your legs. So again, think about tilting in towards the front of the machine. I try not to say lean, because that can sometimes have bad posture issues. But nice straight arms, and then keep in that position as you press out with your legs. That'll hopefully get you used to the sensation of pushing with your legs. Last stroke. Right. Oh, I feel I forgot to say something in today's warm-up. But the amount I'm trying to squeeze into what I'm trying to say today, don't worry, I'm not ignoring you. I'm just using ErgZone to program 40 minutes into my monitor. I'm not splitting this into intervals on the splits or whatever. For the monitor, I've just loaded up a 40-minute row, and then we're going to go through this session and just change. So we'll change after 3 minutes and 30 seconds and stuff, and I'll keep you right. So I suggest you do the same, that you program just 40 minutes. Don't worry about trying to go 30 seconds, 3 minutes, and all these intervals, because that'll drive you mad. Let's have a quick drink. So we're going to start off 3 minutes, 20 strokes a minute, 2K plus 18 pace, okay? So from an effort point of view, this is really like 5 or 6 out of 10, okay? Where 1 is just sitting on the couch watching TV, and like 4 is maybe going for a walk up a hill. 5 is then a little bit of effort, your breathing is going to be going up, you're going to feel your heart rate go up and stuff, but you're still going to be able to talk. It's not going to be too much of an intensity that you're like, oh, I'm getting quite tired now, okay? This is just to roll you into the session, and then the intensity will start, okay? So, 3 minutes first. Oh, I've got a stone in my sock. That's new. Okay, so 3 minutes first in 3, 2, 1, let's go. So now I want you to concentrate on holding a pace. So if you are rowing at 2K plus 18, then you know that it's your 2K average time trial pace plus 18 seconds. If you haven't rowed a 2K time trial and you're just using an effort out of 10 scale, then whatever you have picked as 5 out of 10, I want you to remember that pace and hold it through this opening 3 minutes. And then when it comes to the recovery intervals through this workout, I want you to be around about this pace, maybe a couple of seconds slower, but I want you to reference what you think is 5 out of 10 right now, because as we go through the session, 5 out of 10 is going to feel tougher and tougher because of the fast, intense workout we've got in store today. Okay, so we're past halfway in this opening, we can't really call it a warm-up, a lead-in, that's what it would be called if this was proper cycle training. This is a lead-in where we get to cycle past all the spectators, wave and look amazing in our lycra as we swoosh past on our zip wheels and trek bikes or whatever you ride. I've always ridden Scott bikes myself. Okay, 30 seconds to go. Now what we're going to do is we're going to start off 30 seconds at 30 strokes a minute and at 2k pace. So that means pretty much 10 out of 10 intensity. Okay? In 3, 2, 1. Let's stir those legs. So push harder with the legs. That will give you a faster drive speed and will help you get your stroke rate up to 30 whilst also getting that pace into the machine. One more. Let's slow it down to 20 strokes a minute. And back to that 5 out of 10, 2k plus 18 pace. Oh, we're going again in just 4 strokes. 3, 2, 1. Here we go. Remember, stroke rate is about a faster drive, but keeping a good rhythm so that your recovery is also increased, but in a good rhythm. 2 more. There we go. Back to 20 strokes a minute. Ooh. Sorry, microphone issues this early in the game. It's not a good sign. Okay, got the last of our microbursts or speed bumps after this and this stroke. Here we go. Push with the legs. You still want a 2-to-1 ratio between drive and recovery. So recovery is twice as long as drive speed. Last one. Back to 20. And 5 out of 10. Now we're actually at the end of this 30 seconds, we're going to just drop stroke rate by 2. So we're going to go down to 18 and your pace run about 2k plus 20 from now. So this means slightly slower than your 5 out of 10. Knock off 2 seconds from whatever pace you were rowing at before. And then I want you to mark this as your recovery pace in between the threshold work that we're going to do. Remember, we're doing 15 seconds at 2K pace, 15 seconds, 2K plus 12, 8 times. And then we get another break. We'll do that 4 times in total. Right, so that's a minute and a half, almost gone. There you go. So this should just let you calm down and recover a bit as we go through this workout, so that you can hit the proper high intensity stuff at the proper pace. Like I said in the intro, it's meant to be tough. It's anaerobic threshold stuff, so these main session parts, completely lost the word there, are meant to be tough, okay? You're meant to be holding on and yearning for the end of the 8th set, okay? So our first one is coming up in 6 strokes time. Okay, so get ready. We're going up to 30 strokes a minute, 2K pace in 2 strokes time. One more. You ready? Here we go. Just 15 seconds of this. And then we back down to 24 strokes a minute from now. And 2K plus 12. 2 more. Last one. Back up again. Set 2. Remember, it comes from the legs. Push through those legs. Straight arms. Back to 24. And 2K plus 12. One more. Let's get that pace up. For set 3. Keep your stroke rate and pace nice and high. Back to 24s. Oh, 24s go by so quickly. Here we go. Back up for set 4. Arms nice and straight. Let the power flood into the machine. Back to 24s. Set 5 coming up. We are halfway there. Here we go. Now, I warn against overcooking these ones. Back to 24. If you go too hard in the opening sets, you'll find it really tough by the end. Here we go. Back up. 30 strokes a minute. 2K pace. For set 6. Last, back to 24s. Keep that intensity up. Last one here. Back up. Got 1 minute left. Come on. Get that power in, nice and smooth. There we go. Back to 24s. 2K plus 12. All right, last of the fast. Come on. Remember, this is one stroke every 2 seconds. If you need help, back to 24. Just one stroke every 2.5. 3, 2, 1. And we're back to 18s. That's our first set done. Okay, so we're just going to do 4 of them. Make sure to keep your pace around 2K plus 20 to 24, which is 4 or 5 out of 10. These are meant to let you recover for the next batch. So you don't want to go too fast through these. You don't want to use up your available energy by pushing the slow stuff too fast. Oh, I fluffed my leg then. You want to keep this nice and slow, and that recovery area, so that you have the juice to really hit the fast stuff fast. Did I say 3 minutes here? If I did, I apologize. It's 4 minutes here. So 4 minutes, which means we have 2 more minutes to go. And hopefully by now, you'll pretty much have recovered from the intensity of that first batch of threshold work. And if you are rowing way too slow now, then you'll realize that there is a balance between rowing slow enough to recover, but also not rowing so slowly that these parts of the workout end up being useless. You still want to make sure you're pushing with your legs, connecting with your arms, that you are thinking about your overall technique. Under a minute to go into the next one, which means that tilt into the front of the machine, holding it as you drive with the legs, and only swinging over your hips when your legs are around about halfway or maybe a little bit more finished through their drive. And then finish in a 11 o'clock lean on the clock face. Alrighty then. So we're going to go in 4 strokes time into our next set. 3, 2, 1. Here we go. Up to 2K pace. 30 strokes a minute. Come on. Remember, if you can get that flow right, it'll be so much easier to get the stroke rate up. Down to 24s and 2K plus 12. This time round, you might start to feel the intensity if you didn't last time. Here we go, number 2. Really think about the powerful drive. Back to 24s. And 2K plus 12, or like 7 or 8 out of 10. 2 more. Here we go. Number 3. Get that handle away from you, over your knees, before they bend. Back to 24 strokes a minute. Whew. Connect with your feet. Last one here. Set 4. It's all about the legs. Back to 24s. If you're having trouble, it may be that your drag factor is too high. Last one. Here we go. Number 5. Keep the rate up. Keep your pace up. No cheating. It's meant to feel tough. Back to 24s. Three, 2, 1. Number 6. Get that handle past your knees. Pivot back over your hips. Back to 24. Arms nice and straight at the drive. Last one here. Number 7. And do remember and take a full slide to the front and to the back. Back to 24. Last one coming up. Here we go. Push. If you feel you are unable to get into that full slide, back to 24s, then it could be your posture. 4, 3, 2, 1. There we go. 18 strokes a minute. For 4 minutes. Now, if we were cycling, you would have the benefit of a water bottle on your bike to keep you hydrated. Now what I'll say is that if you want to have a quick drink during these recoveries, Then get to the halfway point. So that's 2 minutes in. And then you can stop for 15 seconds or so in order to have a drink. Those 15 seconds, when you're already in your recovery phase, hopefully won't break the bank in terms of intensity in your workout if you stop. Because by the time you get 2 minutes in here, your heart rate should have come under control after the threshold work, and you'll just be at a maintenance point, just keeping yourself going. So if you feel you need to stop for a drink, do so now, but do try and only take like 15 seconds or so. This isn't meant to be a vacation. So we've got 2 more to go. And I really do hope that by now you've got a sense of this workout and how hard you need to push in those anaerobic threshold chunks. Because if you just phone it in, if you're a bit lackluster through them, sure, you'll get a workout. It's a 40-minute row. You're rowing the whole time, but you won't quite get the intended workout. Like I say, the point is that you should get to the end of each of these chunks really dreaming of this 4-minute recovery section. Right, 40 seconds to go until we start the next batch. It's amazing how this 4 minutes goes by so quickly, whereas the actual activity main 4 minutes, even the 30 seconds, go on forever. Okay, 3 more strokes. Oh, my phone's about to fall off my thing. There we go. 1 more. Here we go, nice and fast. 30 strokes a minute. Try to still hit 2K pace through these chunks. Back down to 24 strokes a minute and 2K plus 12. So intensity is still up. You are not recovering, you are rowing. Here we go. Set 2. Can really help to make sure your transition from moving forwards to the drive is as smooth as possible. 24s, 2K plus 12. Whew. 3, 2, 1. Set 3. So don't pause at either end of the stroke, the finish or the drive. Back to 24s. So move forwards and then push yourself straight back out again. 2, 1. Nice and fast. Set 4. And if you can get those arms out and straight as you come into the front, That will help. Back to 24s. Ooh, these 24s seem harder than the 30s. Here we go. Set. 5. It's like the stroke rate just takes over here. Back to 24s. Whereas you have to push to maintain 2K plus 12. Okay. Number 6. Remember to breathe. Back to 24. You want to get a nice breathing pattern with the stroke rate. 2 more. 7th set. I tend to do 2 breaths per stroke at this rate. Back to 24s, or at least that's how I breathe when I'm not talking to you. Okay, last set of this batch, nice and fast. Push through the legs, connect, straight arms, back to 24s and 2K plus 12. 3 more, then we're back down to 18 again. There we go. 18 strokes a minute, 2K plus 20 to 24, depending on where your balance of recovery exists, where you still want to feel you're putting in 4 or 5 out of 10 effort, but you're not going slower, but you're also not going so fast that you have to back off the main point of today's row. And if you were cycling, these bursts are kind of like acceleration bursts, where either you're trying to overtake someone, or you are in a lumpy bit of road that means you have to hold your cruising pace, which is your 24 strokes a minute, but then you have to speed up to do the overtaking or get up these lumpy hills. But at the same time, even though you could say it's got purpose on the roads, it's also building up your anaerobic threshold. Oh, by the way, have a drink now if you wish, so that you can tolerate more intensity either on a bike ride, or say you were rowing a 500 meter, 1K, 2K, basically any time trial, to be honest. The 100 meter in 1 minute probably don't count. because they're just about going as fast as you can. I suppose you still have to tolerate the intensity. But as my t-shirt says, you have to embrace the discomfort. In any endurance sport that you do, and especially a power endurance sport like rowing, those that can endure discomfort for longer than the other people are the ones that will do better in the long run. It's all very good being fast for the first 1K of a 2K race, but if you can't get over the discomfort of intensity for the next 1K, well, okay, 4 strokes to go. 3, 2, 1. Here we go with our last batch. Come on. Oh, I'm definitely starting to flag now. Okay, back to 24s. 2K plus 12 pace. 7 or 8 out of 10. 2 more. Back up. Let's go fast. 30 strokes a minute. 2K pace. And pretty much 10 out of 10 for effort. Back to 24s. 3 more. All right, 1 more. Let's go fast. Set 3. Think about your technique. I just caught myself lunging into the front. Got to stop that. Back to 24s. Try and keep your body positions. Don't over lean at either end. 1 more. Here we go. Remember, you're just 1 o'clock to the front of the machine, then 11 o'clock to the back. 24s. So I'm not talking as much anymore. Here we go. Number 5. Push with the legs. Arms straight. Keep those arms straight until the back of the stroke. 24s. Remember, your straight pull. Straight pull. 2 more. Here we go. Set 6. Come on. We've only got 2 more after this. So 24s. Keep that intensity right up there. 2 more. Here we go. Number 7. Push with the legs. Back to 24s. Got 1 more to go. Give it everything that you have. 1 more stroke. Here we go. Really push hard. You're sprinting for the finish line. 2 more strokes. back to 24s. 3, I think I missed a stroke here. 2, 1. There we go. And let's finish off at 18 strokes a minute and 2K plus 20 to 24, but I'd rather you were on the faster side of that range, just to finish off nice and strong. We will do a 2-minute proper cool down at the end. So don't treat this like a cool down unless you're not going to hang around for the cool down, in which case start easing back the intensity from here so that your heart rate and muscles will kind of slow down by the end of this row. So we've got a minute and a half left. But if you're not using this as a cool down, I want you to keep the intensity up, just as like a post-credit scene to the row. I feel today was one of those ones again where it was all about technique and performance and very little random distracted chat from me. It's the thing about these sessions with the short, sharp bursts is that there's not really room for me to start talking about my dinner plans and things. Which, in case you care, tonight I am having chicken, I think it's chicken chasseur, is that how you pronounce it? Chicken, bacon, mushrooms in a tomato sauce with Liam Perrin's Worcester sauce and rice. Oh, there we go. So, that's the workout done. If you didn't stop during that workout for a drink, I recommend having one now before we jump into a cool down. Oh, that was tough. Oh, didn't expect it to be quite as tough as that. But hey, it's always a good sign. If you can do a session that's meant to be tough, and it's tough, you know you've done it right. If you're not puggled at this stage, then you maybe didn't go hard enough. Okay, 2-minute cool down, which is pretty much going to be at the same, slightly slower, well, basically the same pace you were doing the recovery rows at there. So let's just get into it in 3, 2, 1. Let's cool down. It just does seem a bit strange to go, come on, let's cool down, with a kind of a energetic tone. So I'm rowing this at, where am I? 2K plus 30. So having done the 3 minutes at the end of that row, even though I hadn't really backed off, it did help to put me into a nice cooled state. So I'm really just using this 2 minutes to try and recover any sense of technique that may have slipped towards the end of today's row. So like I say, I definitely found towards the end I was coming forwards and lunging. I could feel my lower back go as I lunged to try and get more length and pace as I got more tired. It's a bad habit, and one that actually results in getting less pace. And certainly it's the genesis of my butt scoot that I have, is that overlean to the front. If I try and hold posture and don't go too far in to the front and then push out, I don't think I've got a butt scoot. But when I get distracted and lazy, that's when the butt scoot song starts to play in my head again. Scoot. It's the remix of the butt scoot song. Oh, we're done. Gotta say, 2K plus 30 was a bit of a push just then after the session. Oh my, right. Okay, so, sorry, I'll get back. I really shouldn't be this tired. I should try and put on a bit more of a professional front, but I'm absolutely exhausted after that. So find yourself somewhere nice and safe area, whatever, so you can do some stretching, because Grumpy John's just appeared. He's not grumpy, he just, that's my resting face. You know how, I'm not gonna use the actual phrase, but resting face. That's kind of when I'm just concentrating on something, that's how I look. I don't have a happy resting face. But anyway, as you'll see, he's going through some stretches. He'll take you through hamstrings, quads, hip flexors, glutes, biceps, triceps, shoulders, forearms, heads, shoulders, knees and toes. Well, maybe not toes. Or heads, funny enough. But yeah, so he'll take you through them round about 30 seconds. All depends how long I waffle for at the end sometimes. I mean, it's quite hilarious if I've got something to do and I've only really given myself like 3.5, 4 minutes as an outro. When you watch Stretchy John, he's kind of like a Benny Hill outro. He's going from the stretch to the hamstrings because he's going so fast because I speed it up. Whereas if I get really distracted and go into a bit of a rant, then it's like he's stretching in slow-mo. So, yeah. Right, see, there we go. It's because I didn't get a chance to get distracted through the main session of today's row. So now I suddenly think, hey, I can get distracted and start talking about stuff, but yeah. So hopefully that one worked for you. Like I say, this is another one. I mean, this is one of these ones where you just have to keep going through it, okay? You can't make excuses. You can't go, oh, I'm feeling a bit tired, I'm gonna back off. I mean, you can, but you just don't get the workout that you're meant to. So it's through those 15-second flips between the 2K pace and the 2K plus 12. It's meant to be increasingly hard, so you're hanging on. I mean, if I do something like this on the bike and it's the intensity, then quite often it's like by the time I get to that last one, I'm nowhere near that, my pace, my kind of watts that I'm supposed to be hitting. But it's not because I've slowed down, it's because I literally just can't hit it. It's like I'm completely exhausted. So that's the thing here, is that I don't want you to go through sessions like this and hide from them. If you're going to pick a tough session, if you're going to go into one of these and go, right, this is a really hard one today, then you have to go in with the mindset of, right, okay, I am going to embrace the discomfort available from the RowAlong shop. And you go for it. There's no point, if you're just going to do that as a kind of mid-tier whatever, it's not really designed as a mid-tier workout. So if you want to just do one that's kind of a mid-intensity, then pick one from my mid-intensity playlist. If you want to do one that's just like really low intensity and you just kind of like, you know what, I can't put in, can't face anything today, then pick one from the bottom tier workout playlist that I've got. But if you want to go fast, if you want to hit it fast, and that's a fantastic workout. Yeah, 40 minutes long, it's quite a long time to spend on the rowing machine. There's a good chance as you go, when you're done in that 40 minutes, because of that range of paces you're doing, there's a good chance you're going to cover at least 10K within that 40 minutes, depending on where your 2K sits. So, just remember, that's all I'm saying, is that if you're going to pick a fast one, do it fast. There's no point picking a fast one and then it's like going to going to an Indian restaurant and ordering like the chicken Maryland, going for like a British meal. I mean, when you think about it though, an Indian restaurant, most of the dishes are British, so but you get what I mean. There's no point going into an Indian restaurant and ordering the burger and chips, is there? And that's kind of what that's like, okay? You go in and you get the chicken tikka balti with extra chilies or the garlic and whatever. Yummy, yummy, yummy. Lovely. And you go for it and you let the flavors go through. And if it's a little bit spicy, you enjoy it. And you go, oh, that was fun. That was a little bit spicy, whatever. And that's the point of these fast workouts. Is it's like, oh, they're fun. They're a little bit spicy. And then they're good for you. They shift your body around so your body doesn't go, I'm used to doing all these 20 strokes a minute, 30 things. I'm not going to burn as many calories as I need to anymore. Hey, this is great. You keep your body guessing by doing these kind of things. You get fitter, you get faster, and you get stronger. That's hence why it's my logo. So that's what I'm saying with this. Again, this is the kind of thing I should really say right at the front, but I'll put it in the YouTube notes. And if you've done this and you're now at the stage going, oh, maybe he's right, maybe I did kind of ease off a little bit, then in a couple of weeks' time, come back to it and say, right, I've done this once. Last time I did phone it in. This time I'm going to go really hard on it and see how it feels, because you've done it. It's like, yeah, do it once as a run through and get it wrong and then come back and do it fast. It's fine. Just make sure and eventually do it fast. It's not fine. Don't do it. Anyway, right, okay. I told you about the rant. So hopefully he is coming to a close on his stretching, and I will say goodbye. Yeah, so we're coming, I think I'm kind of coming to the close of the row-like sport. I think I could do things like hockey and rugby and American football and whatever, or cricket, but I don't really think there's that much more value. If I suddenly think of a sport and go, oh, you know what, actually that's perfect, then I'll maybe do another one of these. But I'm kind of starting to kind of ease off this row-like sport and the row-off food and maybe the rowing for non-rowers, because in a couple of weeks' time, I want to get into another version of the 2K plan. So I just need to make sure that I'm happy, that post-COVID recovery and stuff, that I'm okay to kick into the 2K plan again. And once I know that I'm happy and that my body can handle it, then that's it. We're going to go into series 3 of the 2K plan, which I've got something quite special planned for this time round, I hope. Anyway, right, thank you so much for doing this one with me. Please let me know how you got on with it. Did you hit it as fast as intended, or did you back off, all that kind of stuff? Did you even make it this far through the video? If you did, then please use the hashtag spicy, might as well, or balti, because I was talking about Indian restaurants, Indian food. So yeah, so balti or spicy, you can use as the hashtag to prove you made it this far through the video. All right, thank you so much for spending time with me on this one. I will see you in any one of my other workouts. Until then, take care, stay safe, be well. Bye-bye.